What is up, my fire amigos? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be doing a Call of Duty Zombies guide on the map 9 for the Wonder Weapon, the Death of Orion. This is going to be the updated 2024 guide. The original guides weren't too far off what they said, but there was a couple misconceptions. I'm here to clear the air with us. The first thing you're going to want to make sure you do your challenge podium in the middle of the arena. So activate the challenge podium, get your challenge up to level 3 to get your pack-punch strife pistol. And in the middle, you're going to be getting the acid trap piece number 1. The other two parts are in the temple. For the temple, you go underneath each set of stairs to the left and the right of the pack punch, and underneath there's going to be one part. It's going to be a set of gears, or one gear rather, and then a chain. Pick those up, and then now we need to activate pack punch itself. To activate pack punch, we need to go to each of the towers. Each of them have a gong with a champion. Once you kill all 4, you need to take their heads and place them on the stakes in the temple to open a pack punch. Doing so will open up the doors that lead to the towers, as well as open up a wall in between the Raw and Danu tower. Now, the original guide said you had to use a pack punch weapon. It is not the case. I mean, look, I'm using a MOG to shoot this thing, okay? I am using a MOG to shoot this little pot. Anyway, you need to shoot this pot, and then it'll fall over, and then the fire from the pot will lift up towards the arena to go into the above area. To see what this fire is doing, you need to go to the Danu Raw Bridge and look towards the arena. There you'll see an odd-looking arrow. I could describe it the best I can. Imagine that circle in the middle as the temple, and then it'll be pointing to one of the towers. If it's pointing down left, you need to go to the Raw Tower. If it's pointing down right, it's going to the Danu Tower. If it's pointing up left, it's going to the Odin Tower. And if it's pointing up right, it's going to the Zeus Tower. What are we looking for exactly? We're looking for a head. Yes, it's a statue head. There are one location each tower. They're all on the bottom floor. And on top of that, it's always the same location if you get that tower. For the Danu Tower, you need to go to the roots on the bottom floor, look for the staircase that leads up to the base floor, and then look down at the ground. You're going to see the statue head there. For the Raw Tower, same thing. Go to the bottom floor for the sarcophagus, look for the stairs, then look all the way right to the right corner. It's going to be behind that fire pot. For the Odin Tower, I think this is where I found it in my game. You need to go to the cauldron, and then as soon as you enter the tower from the bottom floor, it's going to be on the left side of the cauldron underneath it. You'll see it there. And then for the Zeus Tower, you need to go to the bathhouse, enter for the bottom floor, and then go to the right corner. As soon as you go into the bath, it'll be hiding there. That's the hardest one to see in my opinion. But like I said, every one of those skulls are in the same spot every time. So if you want to not look at the arrow and just go for the skull, that would be also a great strategy to use. Now, once we have our skull, you can build the acid trap anywhere. I tend to build the acid trap where I find the skull at. So in this case, since I found it in the Odin Tower, I built the acid trap in the Odin Tower. You need to put the skull in the acid trap before you activate the acid trap. If you activate the acid trap and then place it, you have to wait until the acid trap is done. So if you have some like time slip, you can use it to make it charge faster. If you don't, you have to wait for it. But once the acid trap has melted the skull, it's going to be a little circuit spile. You pick that up, and then you need to flip around, but make sure you have maximum positive affinity. Maximum positive affinity is something that people should get often on, honestly. As long as you're doing anything well, like killing zombies, killing gladiators, doing your challenges, so on and so forth, it shouldn't be that bad. But once you have one full round with positive affinity, you're going to hear this quote.
A gift from Sir Kent.
When you hear that quote, there will be a golden pot that has been randomly thrown into the arena. Now, I know there's like 6 designated spawns for it. I think it's about 4 to 6 designated spawns. But it is very tiny. But since it's only going to be in the arena, you can just easily find it by looking down the ground. I found it mine next to the Danu Tower. So we're going to go ahead and pick that up. As long as you have the spile and the pot, you need to go down to the Danu roots. When you're down here in the Danu roots on the base, on the bottom floor, you're going to see this little hole here. And all you need to do is melee to put the spile in, and then hold X on the bottom of the tree to put the pot down. What we need to do now is just flip the round. That's it. Just flip the round. Once you flip the round, the pot will be full of acid. So if you're holding a zombie, put the acid in there and flip the round, and then you can grab the pot. Once you have the pot, you can go ahead and take that poison you sapped out from the tree and go to the mystery box. On the very left side, poison the mystery box, and then the very first hit is going to be the death of Orion. There is one catch though. If you do this request and have already grabbed the death of Orion in some way, shape, or form, let's say you grabbed it but you handed it to someone else in a multiplayer game, or you grabbed it then put it back, this side quest will not work. This hit needs to be the very first time you get the death of Orion. But if you enjoyed this guide, please let me know in the comments. Peace out.